Hi, Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health. I see a lot of comments about gluten-free diets in this group, and I want to touch base on that because not all gluten-free diets are the same. So I see a lot of people say, oh, I went gluten-free and I dropped weight and things like that. And that's fantastic, but it shouldn't be the sole reason that you want to go gluten-free. Gluten-free is the way you do gluten-free is super important. So there's a lot of gluten-free products on the shelves in the supermarkets now, and that is not necessarily a good thing because when they take the gluten out, they add a lot of soy sometimes, they use a lot of processors, sugars to replace the flavor, different chemicals and preservatives that to replace what was taken out previously. So going gluten-free for me, originally it can be really difficult and it's really overwhelming. So you do reach for, I need bread, so you get the gluten-free bread. And you're trying to find replacements for products that you're already eating. So for me, it was like, that was kind of the path I took. And then I thought, hang on, I'm eating all these things that were probably worse for me than what I was eating originally. So for me now, I don't have bread at all because the gluten-free bread isn't great and it's not something that you want to replace anyway, because sometimes grains can affect us as well. But gluten-free bread, if you read the ingredients, there's a lot of stuff in it. If you have to have bread as a sometimes food, you can have things like spelt sourdough, but sourdough made properly with fermented, like with what do they call it? A starter. So, because some sourdough is made but with vinegar and not actually made properly, the natural way. So fermenting that starter, however they do it, I'm not too sure. I haven't made it myself, but it actually helps reduce the gluten, and spelt is a low gluten grain anyway. So having spelt sourdough occasionally, it's not something I would encourage you to eat all the time, can be something you can replace bread with. But for me, it's no bread at all. So yeah, watching those gluten-free products, particularly biscuits, high in sugar. And sugar is also something that we should be reducing or trying to cut out. I use raw honey, pure maple syrup, monk fruit sugar, coconut sugar, those sorts of things you can use to make your own biscuits, but not the ones off the shelf, because generally they are full of sugar. And making yourself some nice little bliss balls with some dates and nuts and chia seeds and things like that is really good to replace your biscuits. They taste better to me anyway. I'm not a huge biscuit fan, but going gluten-free isn't the only thing that you have to do for your health. It's not going to be like, yes, my levels are going to be normal because I went gluten-free, which I sort of see a bit of a pattern in some of the comments, like, I went gluten-free and it's this, or if I go gluten-free, will it help this? It's one part of your journey. It's one part, and the way you go gluten-free is so important. It's not something that you should just do so simple, how do I explain it? Yeah, really think about how you're going to go gluten-free. If you're going to have dinner, have gluten-free pasta. Those sort of gluten-free products are okay. Gluten-free pasta, there's a few things that, or replace with rice. If I have spaghetti bolognese for the kids, they have gluten-free pasta, and I often have sweet potato with mine, or vegetables. I just put the meat over it and I have it like that. Same if I make the children burritos or something, I just have it on a plate as a burrito bowl. I have my salad and then whatever meat or vegetable that I have that the kids are having, and I have it like that. And it's still really tasty. You don't need to have all those things, and you feel so much better after your meal. Because even if you don't feel like you have a gluten intolerance, like when I first was told to go gluten-free, I didn't feel like, I was getting sick from it or anything like that. But I did, once I started, getting rid of it, and then I ate it I was out somewhere or whatever and I ate it, and I thought, yeah, I do feel now that there is a difference. It might not be a great difference, but it's not only because it makes you feel bad that you cut out gluten, it's because it's really bad for the liver and the gut health. So gluten in the liver feeds the pathogens that we're trying to get rid of. So we're trying to detox our liver and cleanse it and get rid of viral load and pharmaceuticals that have been stuck there, because our liver holds on to things that it may, not poison us, but be not so good for our body. So it holds on to those things, and we're trying to get them out of our body. But gluten feeds a lot of those things and allows them to stay, heavy metals, allows them to stay in our liver. Also interrupts the gut health with your good and bad bacteria. And the reason gluten today is so different to what it was years ago is because they genetically modify the wheat to grow 4 times faster, 4 times bigger. So like every wheat strand has a lot more grains on it. It grows quicker, and they spray it with up to 12 different chemicals. So sometimes you'll find, when they cut down the wheat crops, that there's a lot of dead animals like insects, mice, whatever in that in the crops, because they've been sprayed with so many chemicals, and then we ingest that. So there's a lot of reasons why we cut out gluten. And it's not just because, it doesn't feel great in your body. There's a lot of reasons other than how it makes us feel to get rid of it. So it's really important to understand why you're cutting out gluten. It's not just, oh, look, I don't really feel bad when I eat bread. It's not just about that. If you want to advance your health and feel better in the long run, because don't get me wrong, you might feel pretty good now, but don't think that at some point you can't have a big crash, or you can just gradually go downhill and you won't even notice it. So start now before that happens, and start to introduce very healthy practices into your life to start to work towards getting a healthier body. Because as we age, we're not going to be getting healthier. We're going to be getting, more issues with our body, our heart. Everything works harder as we get older because we take on so much. We're more stressed. We're more active. We're doing so many things, like looking after, if you've got kids and family, and running around working and trying to get everything done. And on top of that, your body has to try and fight an autoimmune disease. It's not fighting an autoimmune disease. Your body wants to heal. Your body is trying to heal itself, and you're adding to that by being stressed, eating the wrong foods, doing the wrong things with your body. So start now. Even if it doesn't make you feel good, gluten should not be part of your diet. So start looking at how you can remove that. Start slowly if you have to. I don't care how you do it. Some people like all or nothing. There are things that you can replace your gluten with, rice crackers. I quite enjoy those things anyway. So, but add vegetables. If you don't want to have your pasta, just have vegetables with your whatever the sauce is that you're having. So just think about how you can, reduce the gluten in your life, and then eventually get rid of it. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments so everybody can see what I'll answer them and see what the answers are. But yeah, let me know what you think about gluten-free. Let me know if you are gluten-free already and how it's been for you.